All right, so what we're going to do is I'm going to show you guys how to do the quotient rule. All right, so here's our function. The only time you actually have to do quotient rule is when you have anything being added or subtracted on the bottom of your fraction. So it says x cubed plus 6. I'm forced to use my quotient rule. All right, if it wasn't, if I was just like doing some multiplication on the bottom, then I can go ahead and divide each of my numerator pieces, each of my numerator terms, by whatever my denominator is. But since it's x cubed plus 6, I have to use my quotient rule. All right. So remember, our quotient rule says that you are going, but when we take the derivative, you're going to take your bottom function, which is x cubed plus 6, you're going to multiply it by the derivative of your top. So the x squared plus x minus 6, the derivative of that is 2x plus 1. Now you're going to subtract. You're going to flip it. So instead of the bottom times the derivative of the top, you'll take your top function, which is x squared plus x minus 6. You're going to multiply that by the derivative of the bottom. Now the derivative of the bottom is just going to be 3x squared. All right, and then you're going to divide all of that by your bottom function, which is x cubed plus 6. You're going to square that. So it's x cubed plus 6 squared. All right. Now once you have, that's the actual derivative part. That's the only calculus stuff that you have to do with this problem. Everything else is going to be algebra. So you have to multiply x cubed plus 6 by 2x plus 1. Multiply all of that stuff out. And when you do that, you end up getting 2x to the fourth plus x cubed plus 12x plus 6. Now, the backside, I also have to distribute. I have to do some multiplying. So when I take my 3x squared and multiply it to my x squared plus x minus 6, I get 3x to the fourth plus 3x cubed minus 18x squared. Now, the reason I'm putting that inside parentheses is because I have to subtract all of those terms. Do not do that until the very end. Do all your multiplying, then you can go ahead and do your subtracting. Now, on the bottom, do not multiply it out. Just keep it as x cubed plus 6 squared. Right? Now, on this next page, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to subtract all of these terms. I'm going to start to combine everything, and then we're going to get our final answer. Right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite it all. So that is my first part, which was the 2x to the fourth, x cubed plus 12x plus 6. Now I'm subtracting each of those terms. So I subtract my 3x to the fourth minus my 3x cubed. Now I'm adding my 18x squared. Right? And that's still being divided by my bottom function squared. All right, now all I have to do is combine my like terms. So this is all algebra. The only derivative stuff, the only calculus stuff was at the very first step. So once I combine, I get negative x to the fourth minus 2x cubed plus 18x squared plus 12x plus 6. All of that is divided by my bottom function squared. That's your answer. That's your derivative using the quotient rule.